Hi, I'm going to talk about emotional intelligence today. Specifically, I'm going to talk about the behavior of self-regard. So self-regard is part of the self-perception category. The self-perception category is an important category for emotional intelligence because it's really a foundational category. The behaviors within it are about understanding yourself, and the better you understand yourself, the better you're able to build your other emotional intelligence skill sets. So you may think self-regard is the same as self-esteem, and it's actually not. Self-esteem has more to do with positive feelings about yourself that may or may not be realistic. So the definition for self-regard is that it's really an understanding and acceptance of your own strengths and weaknesses. So that's important part of this, is you also understand and accept your weaknesses. So you also generally have an inner strength and self-confidence that's apparent. So you have a really well-defined sense of your identity. You know what you don't know, and you know what you're not good at, and that's okay. So when you take an EQ, emotional intelligence assessment, your self-regard will be scored from low to high. Most of the population would fall in the mid-range, as I've kind of described it. If you have a very, very high self-regard, what that can look like is you might appear to be overconfident. You also might not really take the time to develop other skills because you'll be relying on the skills that you're already very comfortable with. More people would fall to the low range, and what that would look like is an insecurity. So you might even present as a know-it-all, really to hide that insecurity. And you would feel inferior in general. So you would see your strengths as not strong enough, and you would see your weaknesses really as problems rather than being to accept that's part of your personality. So people who have a low self-regard are usually very critical of themselves, or overly critical of themselves, and not accepting of themselves. So I hope this has helped you understand self-regard. And my name is Shannon West. My company is Remy Fox Management Inc. I hope you'll stay tuned as I continue to bring you more information on the emotional intelligence behaviors. Thanks.